The galaxy whispered about an old warning. Never touch what Earth protects. It was a saying, passed from one alien generation to another. Some treated it like a myth, others like a forgotten story from ancient wars. But most laughed. They believed Earth was weak, now just another world among thousands. The age of human wars, they said, was long gone. At the edge of known space, there was a small colony. The colony was poor, with only a few ships and no weapons. It lived under Earth's protection, but Earth was far away. To the alien raiders who prowled the void, the colony looked like easy prey. The raiders struck without warning. Black ships fell from the sky, cutting through the colony's small defenses. Fires spread through the towns. Civilians screamed as the raiders landed. The alien commander laughed as he looked at the burning world. Earth cannot defend you, he told the frightened colonists. The humans are finished. Their fleets are gone. Their warning is nothing but old words. But high above the planet, something moved. The raiders did not notice at first. They were too busy celebrating their easy victory. But far in orbit, hidden between rocks and broken satellites, ancient human machines came to life. They were not warships, not even drones. They were Watcher's silent satellites, forgotten by most, of the galaxy. Their black eyes opened, their sensors burned bright. They saw everything. The colony's cries for help did not reach Earth. Normal channels were blocked by the raiders. But the Watchers carried another way. For years, they had been quiet, waiting for one signal. Now, they sent their message. A deep pulse of energy shot into the void, vanishing into faster-than-light darkness. It was not in any alien language. No empire could read it. To them, it would look like static noise from space. But to humans, it was clear. One sentence repeated again and again. Earth's protection has been broken. The raiders laughed as they looted the colony. They pulled down human flags and raised their own. They mocked the old stories. Where is Earth now? They asked. Where is this mighty protector? The colonists only stayed silent. Some prayed. Some whispered the old warning under their breath, as if the words themselves might bring help. Never touch what Earth protects. Hours passed. The raiders thought it was over. But the Watchers in orbit did not stop. They kept sending their call into the void, their signals reaching places no alien could track. And then something answered. Deep in space, far beyond the colony, a shadow stirred. Long-range scanners would later report strange signals. Huge shapes moving silently, too fast and too large to be natural. But the raiders saw nothing. Down on the colony, the alien commander gathered his troops in the central square. He ordered the human colonists to kneel. You are no longer under Earth, he declared. From now on, you belong to us. But as he spoke, his comms officer ran to him. Commander, the officer said nervously, something strange in orbit. Our ships are reporting interference. Interference? The commander frowned. Destroy it. The officer hesitated. It is everywhere. We cannot locate the source. Our scanners are blind. For the first time, the commander felt unease. Above the burning colony, the stars flickered. The Watchers had done their work. The pulse had been received. Something was coming. No one knew yet what it was. No one knew how far it had to travel, or how long it would take. But every human across the galaxy knew the meaning of the signal. Earth had heard. Earth never forgot. The galaxy had laughed at the old warning. They thought it was just words, nothing more. But as the signal echoed in the dark, carried by machines older than most empires, one truth returned to life. Earth protects its own, and when that protection is broken, there is no second warning. The colony burned through the night. The alien raiders filled their ships with stolen goods, dragging human civilians into cages. They celebrated their easy victory, laughing that Earth had not come. Pathetic, one raider said, kicking over a human flag. Their protectors are myths. Earth is finished. The alien commander believed the same. His fleet circled the colony in orbit, scanning for any sign of resistance. He found nothing, only dead satellites and useless machines drifting in the yaw. Dark, but he did not see where the watchers dot high above. The old human satellites were no longer silent. Their black eyes tracked every raider ship. Their coded pulses reached farther and farther into the void. They spoke a language no alien could understand, but every human could feel its meaning. Earth's protection has been broken. Respond. Message traveled across light years, carried on hidden channels, slipping past alien sensors. For most of the galaxy, it was invisible. For Earth, it was a flare in the dark, and Earth answered. The first whispers on the raider flagship, the commander, sat back in his chair, smug. He had already sent a message to his empire, boasting of victory. His words were full of mockery. Earth protects nothing, he declared. We took their colony, and they did not come. But even as he laughed, strange reports came from his fleet. Commander, one of our patrol ships has gone silent. Then call them back. We tried, sir. No response. Minutes later, another patrol ship vanished from comms. Then another. No alarms, no distress signals, just silence. The commander's smile faded. He ordered a search. His ships spread out, scanning the void. But the scanners showed nothing, only empty space. One by one, the search ships stopped responding. The commander slammed his fist on the console. This is sabotage. The colonists did this. But deep inside, he felt a cold fear. The colonists had no ships. They had no weapons. And yet, his fleet was being hunted. The ghost in the dark hours passed. Raiders grew restless. Their comm channels filled with frightened voices. Sir, we saw something near the asteroid field. Static. Silenced. Another voice shouted, something is following us. It's huge, I saw. Cut off. Silence again. The commander tried to calm his men, but the fear spread. His officers whispered about the old warning. Some remembered stories told by their ancestors. Humans appearing from the void, striking without mercy, then vanishing again. Superstition. The commander roared. Earth cannot reach us here. We are safe. But his own words felt hollow. The Pursuer 1 raider frigate, patrolling the edge of the system, suddenly detected a faint signal. A massive shadow passed across its scanners. For only a second too large, too fast. Impossible, the ship's captain muttered. It must be a glitch. But then the shadow appeared again, closer this time. The captain ordered weapons ready. His crew aimed at the void. But nothing was there. Just stars. Moments later, their lights flickered. Systems shut down. The frigate drifted helplessly, its crew shouting in panic. Outside the viewport, something vast moved, a silhouette darker. Then space itself. The crew never had time to scream. The frigate was gone. The raiders panicked. By the second day. The raider fleet was falling apart. A dozen ships had vanished without leaving wreckage. The commander tried to rally his forces, but no one listened. Fear grew stronger than his orders. We must leave this cursed place. His officers shouted, something is hunting us. Earth, whispered another. It is the humans. They are here. The commander snarled. Lies. Earth has no fleet near this system. You fools are afraid of shadows. But then, the shadows revealed themselves. The first sight on the edge of the system. Long-range scanners picked up movement. Dozens of massive signatures appeared, then vanished. No alien could track them. They moved too fast, too silently. The raider commander stared at the readings, his hands trembling. This cannot be real. The signals were not normal. Ships, They were too large. Entire cities could fit inside them. Yet they moved like hunters, weaving through the void as if the laws of physics did not apply. Every time the commander tried to lock onto them, the signals disappeared. But every time he blinked, more appeared. It was as if the stars themselves were shifting, coming closer, surrounding him. The message then it came. A transmission cut through every channel, overriding radar systems. The voice was calm, human, and cold. You were warned once. You touched what we guard. The raiders froze. Every ship, every soldier heard it. The commander felt his blood turn to ice. The voice spoke again. There is no second warning. And then silence. The raiders screamed into their comms, desperate for answers. Some tried to flee, but their ships refused to move. Something jammed their drives. Others fired blindly into the void, their weapons striking only empty space. The shadows were still there, waiting, watching. The pursuit beyond one by one. The human ships revealed themselves, not fully, not clearly. Only glimpses. A sharp outline against the stars. A streak of unnatural light across the void. A massive shape that blotted out suns. The raiders ran. They abandoned the colony, leaving their loot, their captives, even their wounded. They fled toward their empire, hoping to escape, but the shadows followed. The commander ordered his fleet into faster-than-light jump. As the stars stretched into lines, he felt relief. They had escaped, or so he thought. When his fleet dropped back into real space, the shadows were already there waiting. The fear spreads news spread quickly across the raider empire. Entire fleets vanishing, leaders receiving broken reports of ghosts in the dark. At first, they thought it was rebellion or sabotage, but then the survivors spoke. The few who had seen the ships with their own eyes. They are humans, they whispered. Warships larger than anything we know. They hunt us. They never miss. The Empire's rulers scoffed. But when more fleets disappeared, the raider fleet was broken. What had begun as laughter and celebration now turned into fear and silence. Ships had vanished without warning. Entire squadrons went dark. The few that survived carried whispers of impossible shadows, massive shapes that moved faster than thought, weapons that left no wreckage. The raider commander sat in his darkened flagship, his crew too afraid to speak. Every light flickered. Every screen showed interference. The void around them felt alive, as if the stars themselves were watching. And then the human spoke again. You were warned once. You touched what we guard. The words echoed across every ship, across every channel. Calm, cold, unstoppable. Commander shouted, "Trace that signal, find them." But his officers could only shake their heads. The voice had no source. It came from everywhere and nowhere. A gathering storm far from the raider fleet, hidden in the folds of deep space, the true human fleet stirred. They were not like other ships. Alien vessels shone with polished metal and glowing lights, built to be seen and feared. Human ships were shadows, black hulls that drank in the light of stars, armor that seemed to bend reality around them. They were giants. Some stretched for kilometers, city-sized titans of war. Others were hunters, sharp and sleek, faster than any alien vessel. Together, they moved like a storm given shape. The signal from the watchers had reached them. And now the storm was coming. The last mockery, the raider commander still clung to his pride. They are bluffing, he told his crew. It is only a handful of ships. Tricks, shadows, nothing more. We are an empire. We are strong. But even as he spoke, fear spread among his men. One officer whispered, "Sir, our long-range scans. They show hundreds of signatures approaching, maybe thousands. Too many to count." The commander slammed his fist on the table. Lies. Human fleets are small. They cannot have such power. But, deep inside, even he felt the truth. The silence before 4 hours, the raiders waited. Every ship powered weapons, shields, and engines. They formed a wall of steel, determined to fight whatever came. The void was silent. The stars twinkled like they always had. Then, one by one, the stars disappeared. Shadows slid across the sky, blotting out constellations. Massive shapes revealed themselves, not fully, not clearly, but enough to make every raider heart freeze. The human fleet had arrived. The voice of Earth. The humans did not fire. Not yet. A single transmission echoed across space. Simple, sharp, final. This is Earth. We do not repeat ourselves. The raiders trembled. Some tried to open comms, to beg for peace, but the channel was locked. The humans were not listening. They had spoken their words. Now came action. The first strike without warning. The human fleet moved. No bright flashes. No dramatic charges. Their weapons were silent, precise, unstoppable. One moment, the raider flagship was whole. The next, it was gone, cut into pieces so cleanly that debris floated in perfect silence. The rest of the fleet panicked. Thousands of weapons fired into the void, energy beams lighting the dark, but they hit nothing. Human ships weaved between, the blasts like ghosts. Then came the second strike. Human warships unleashed lances of light that pierced through shields and armor as if they were paper. Entire raider cruisers shattered in seconds. Explosions lit the sky, turning proud battleships into flaming wrecks. The raiders screamed in terror. They are everywhere. They are inside our formation. And it was true. Human ships appeared in the middle of their fleet, emerging from invisible jumps. By the time raider crews saw them, it was too late. The collapse of the battle lasted less than an hour. Out of 200 raider warships, only a handful survived. Most were destroyed with surgical precision, cut apart by beams of energy no alien had ever seen. The survivors tried to flee, but human ships followed. Some raiders managed to escape into faster-than-light travel, but when they reappeared, human fleets were already waiting for them, blocking every exit, every safe route. It was as if Earth's fleet knew their moves before they made them. The raiders realized, the truth too late. This was not a battle. It was an execution. The warning made real when the last raider ships were destroyed. The human fleet did not linger. They turned away from the burning wreckage, their black hulls disappearing into the void, but not before sending one final message. Broadcast across the raider empire, across neutral space, across every channel in the galaxy. Earth protects its own. Harm them once, and we will come. There will be no second warning. The message repeated 3 times, then faded into silence. The survivors, few and broken, carried the story back. Their voices shook, their eyes wide with fear. They spoke of fleets larger than anything seen before, of weapons that cut through reality itself, of shadows that could not be fought. Alien leaders laughed at first, but when the survivors collapsed in tears, when they showed the wreckage, the laughter died. The warning was no longer myth. It was truth. The galaxy reacts in the Galactic Council. News arrived of the battle. Ambassadors argued, their voices full of fear. It was a punishment strike, one said. The raiders were fools. Earth only acted in defense, but others shook their heads. You do not understand. If Earth can destroy fleets so easily, what will they do to us if we make the same mistake? Some wanted to send envoys to Earth to beg for peace. Others wanted to prepare for war. But deep down, all of them knew the same truth: no one could fight what they had seen. The shadows move on. The human fleet did not stop. It left the colony safe, untouched now that the raiders were gone. But instead of vanishing, they followed the trail of survivors back to the raider empire. The humans had made their promise clear. No one touches what Earth protects. The galaxy had forgotten the rule. Now Earth would make them remember. The Galactic Council met in its grand chamber, a station so large it floated like a city between the stars. It was meant to be a place of order, a place where empires could speak without fear. But on this day, there was no order, only fear. The chamber was filled with shouts, echoes of panic bouncing off the crystal walls. The raider fleets are gone. One ambassador cried. Destroyed. An entire armada wiped out in less than a day. By humans, another spat, his voice shaking. By Earth. The words hung heavy in the air. No one wanted to believe it, but no one could deny it. They debate of fear for centuries. Earth had been quiet. They had not joined wars, had not expanded their empire, had not even attended the council. Many had assumed humanity was weak, a dying species hiding in the shadows of history. But now, they returned, whispered a representative from the Kelvori Union, and they returned with fleets. Laughter rose from the Drath ambassador, though it was nervous and thin. Fleets? Myths. The raiders tell stories like frightened children. They say shadows swallowed their ships. Do you believe such nonsense? Then how do you explain the wreckage? Another voice shouted. We have images. Human weapons tore through capital ships as if they were paper. The Drath ambassador faltered. Tricks, old technology, nothing more. But even he knew the truth. The entire galaxy knew. The humans had power that none of them understood. The old warning and elder ambassador, his scales pale with age, stood slowly. His voice was quiet, but the chamber silenced to hear him. You have forgotten, he said. You have all forgotten. The warning. It was spoken long ago. Never touch what Earth protects. Whispers spread like fire. The old saying. The myth. Ancient words, another scoffed. Though his voice trembled, the elder shook his head. Not myth, history. My people remember when Earth fought before. They do not forgive. They do not forget. And when their protection is broken, they come. The silence that followed was heavier than any weapon. The first signs as the council argued, strange reports arrived from deep space. Merchant ships claimed to see black silhouettes moving across the stars. Colonies on distant worlds reported sudden malfunctions in their scanners, as if entire regions of space had been swallowed. An outpost on the edge of neutral territory sent one last message before going dark. The stars are gone. Something is here. Something enormous. Then silence. The council chamber filled with fear. Ambassadors stared at the reports with wide eyes. They are moving, one said softly. The human fleets are not staying with the colony. They are moving. Toward us. The arrogant voices still. Some refused to believe. The Zorath Emperor's envoy slammed his clawed fist on the table. So what if they move? The galaxy has hundreds of fleets. We will crush them together. Yes, another shouted. We are billions. They are only one world. Their words were met with silence. Even the loudest voices could not hide their fear, because deep inside, every leader knew the truth. The raiders had been many, and Earth had erased them like dust. If the humans came for the council, no number of ships would matter. The shadows. Arrived the council's fears became real. On the outer edges of council-controlled space, sensors detected massive signatures. Not one, not 10 hundreds. Then thousands. The readings made no sense. The fleets were too large, too fast, too silent. Entire. Star systems reported skies darkening as human warships passed overhead, blotting out suns. Civilian ships fled in panic, carrying tailies of endless armadas moving with terrifying silence. One mining station managed to send a recording before vanishing. The image was simple. A wall of black ships stretching across the void. No banners. No lights. Only shadows dotted the center. one ship larger than all the rest. The council chamber shook with shouts as the recording played. They are here. T.H. The raider fleets had gathered in the system like vultures circling prey. Hundreds of alien ships blocked the skies of the small human colony. Their commanders laughed, confident that the humans would beg for mercy. Earth cannot protect you. One captain broadcast to the colony. Your guardians are ghosts of the past. Surrender, and maybe we let you live. But no reply came from the ground. The colony remained silent. Then, the stars changed. One by one, shadows emerged in orbit massive. Warships, black as night, covered in strange armor that reflected no light. They did not match any alien registry. No empire claimed them. Yet every alien sensor screamed warnings. The first human dreadnought revealed itself, larger than any alien battleship. Its hull bore no flag, only a single symbol, Earth's crest. Raiders panicked. Their communications erupted in fear. Impossible. Earth has no fleet. These ships, they're myths. The human warships did not answer. They moved with cold precision, forming a wall between the colony and the invaders. Then the silence broke. A human voice echoed across every channel in perfect, simple words. You were warned. Do not touch what we guard. Before the raiders could react, Earth's fleet attacked. The first salvo tore through alien ships like paper. Beams of white light split cruisers in half. Missiles streaked silently through the void, detonating with terrifying accuracy. Alien shields, built to resist each other's weapons, failed instantly against Earth's technology. The battle lasted minutes. Raiders tried to flee, but strange human satellites activated, filling space with webs of invisible traps. Any ship that tried to jump to faster than light was dragged back into real space, helpless. One by one, the raider ships were destroyed. Fireballs lit the dark skies above the colony. On the ground, colonists watched in awe. Children pointed at the burning heavens. Old men whispered in disbelief. They came. Earth remembered us. But Earth's fleet did not celebrate. They did not speak. Instead, they sent a single message to the galaxy broadcast so no one could ignore it. This colony is under Earth's protection. This is the last warning. Touch what we guard, and we will erase you. Across the galaxy, rulers and empires sat frozen. For centuries, they had believed Earth was weak, broken, forgotten. But now, they saw the truth. Humanity had been silent, not powerless, and their silence had ended. The raider fleets were gone. What had once been a proud force of predators now drifted in silence, burning wrecks scattered across the stars. Their leaders were dead, their fleets erased, but the galaxy was not calm. It was shaking. Every empire, every ruler, every council chamber was filled with the same word, Earth. For thousands of years, Earth had been silent, weak, forgotten, even mocked. Alien historians wrote that humans were finished. Alien leaders told their people that Earth was no threat, just an old world with old stories. Now, those same leaders stared at the footage spreading across the galaxy, footage no one could deny. Human warships, black and vast, had moved like shadows in the void. They did not speak. They did not warn. They only destroyed. And after the destruction, one thing was clear. Earth's rule was not dead. On the colony's surface, survivors gathered under the broken sky. Families cried. Soldiers stood in silence. Children stared upward, waiting for more ships to descend. But the humans in orbit did not land. They only left behind a message. A single drone drifted down into the colony square. Its metal hull glowed with old symbols of Earth. The survivors watched as it opened, projecting a message into the air. The voice was human, calm, firm, unshakable. This colony is under Earth's protection. Those who raise weapons against what we guard will not be forgiven. We give no second warnings. The words echoed across the city. Some wept, some cheered. Others simply fell to their knees, realizing the stories had been true all along. In the Galactic Council, chaos spread. The alien emperor who had left at Earth just months before now sat in silence, his hands trembling. What are they planning? He whispered to his generals. No one answered. Reports said the human fleets had vanished after the battle. They did not occupy territory. They did not demand tribute. They did not even respond to messages. They had come, destroyed, and disappeared. But the warning they left behind echoed louder than any army. Earth was watching. Across the galaxy, whispers grew into fear. Merchants told stories of ghost ships, human vessels that appeared without warning, then vanished before sensors could track them. Miners swore they saw black ships in the edges of asteroid fields. Soldiers claimed to hear strange signals, repeating the same line in every language. Do not touch what Earth guards. At first, many thought it was fear playing tricks. But then fleets began to retreat. Border wars ended. Even powerful empires chose silence rather than risk testing Earth's rule again. Back on Earth, deep under the oceans, hidden command centers lit up for the first time in centuries. Old A is reawakened, updating maps of the galaxy. Human admirals stood before star charts, their faces grim but steady. One admiral looked at the glowing lines of potential threats and said, "Let them wonder. Let them fear. That is enough." Another replied, "They will come again. They always do. And when they do, we will remind them why humanity survived." The others nodded. Humanity did not need to shout its power. It only needed to act when the line was crossed. The galaxy soon learned. One empire tried to test Earth's warning again, sending a fleet toward a small moon colony guarded by humans. Their ships never returned. Another empire sent spies to uncover Earth's secrets. The spies vanished without a trace. Became clear. The old warning, once a whisper, was now law. Do not touch what Earth guards. In the colony that had been saved, children grew up telling stories of the night the sky burned. They spoke of the ships that came without sound, of the black holes that moved like shadows, and of the voice that warned the galaxy. Generations later, they would not call themselves survivors. They would call themselves guardians, because they knew Earth would always return. And in the dark silence of space, the human fleets waited. Silent, watching. The galaxy had forgotten Earth's rule. Now it remembered.